The Sciforror Film Podcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sciforror Film Podcast. I'm Andy Walker and I'm joined as always by my friend Badger. How you doing, Badger?
Hello, mate. How's it going? Yep, welcome in, everyone. I'm good. Yeah, I'm pretty good.
All right, thank you.
I'm glad you're good, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody for joining us. This week we are looking at horror. Although the first one it's horror-ish.
Definitely horror-ish. I mean, it's one of these ones where if you're talking about Paradox.
Yeah.
Yes, it's definitely along the lines of very spooky, and it made me feel like I was on edge the whole time. So yeah, but we'll talk about it more once you've given the blurb.
Absolutely, yes. So as usual, we've got two short films and a feature film. We'll start off with the first one. The first of our short films is called Paradox, a Rusty Lake film. This is from 2018. Sorry. The writer and director is Sean Van Leeuwenhorst. Great name. Cast: David Bowles, Elena Kejavlova, and Martin Lewis. And the synopsis it has for it says, a detective must solve increasingly challenging puzzles as part of a bizarre game orchestrated by an old foe in order to escape the room he's in.
Yeah, see, I didn't realise this at the time, but apparently it's sort of based on a German video game that I'd never heard of.
I saw at the end of it that there's a thing at the end of it, at the end of the credits that tells you where you can get the computer game, which is called Cube Escape Paradox.
I know, and I need to look into this because if it's anything like the actual film, I think it was brilliant, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing for me was the set, the room that he's in, the colour, the cinematography. It was absolutely brilliant. It all looked really good.
It did. It looked very professional and very sort of like, you know, in the early sort of like, I suppose it was early 90s, they did these full motion video games.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that, where it was almost like you would be choosing it. It felt like I was with the main character, touching all the different things, exploring in the room, and it really brings you into like, oh, what's that? What's that? What's that?
Yeah,
you're looking around the room with the main character, and I was like,
good. I mean, it's an escape room sort of thing.
It is. At the heart of it, it's an escape room mystery.
Yeah,
but I did want to like. It made me want to poke at things.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah,
but I love the atmosphere, the colours, the music, and everything. Really sort of, and it was well acted out as well.
Oh, definitely the acting. I thought was really good, and there's some really excellent effects, especially with the mirror and the sort of reflections in that and that sort of thing. They really were done really, really well.
It really popped out. The greens, especially as well, like the colour green, really added to it. But like. The blurb was very interesting, and I liked the fact that you didn't really need to know what was going on. It could have been anyone. It was great. There was a detective and there was a mystery behind it, but at its heart, it was a very interesting puzzle of who was this person, why is he there, how did he end up there. There was a lot of layers.
I mean, there is a lot about it that is a bit confusing. It's like, how the hell did he get the on the head, and and all that kind of thing. And I'm not sure I fully understood everything that was going on.
No, me neither, to be honest with you. Me neither. But I did look up part of it, and it is meant to be one of these things where it's quite confusing, even if you're playing the game, and it sort of develops and you have to sort of use your own sort of idea of what's going on,
I mean, it looks fantastic and it works really well as a short film. It's I mean, yeah, it's like even when he gets out of the room, it's like, well, hang on a minute, that's even more confusing. And what the hell's
That's it.
going on here? And
I wasn't even sure if he was out of the room at times.
yeah, it's a bit. As I say, I kind of see it's sort of it's spooky, but not necessarily horror. But
Yes,
it is weird.
it is weird, but it reminds me of those old-fashioned mysteries you used to watch on a Sunday afternoon,
I think
with your mum and dad.
while I wouldn't necessarily
Very,
say it was an out and out horror film, it's kind of like
no.
got that. I wouldn't know what else you would call it.
It reminded me of like a sort of like a very complex Agatha Christie story.
Yeah, I know what
It
you mean.
reminded me something you'd watch on a Sunday afternoon with your mum and dad, and you're trying to work out who the murderer is. Yeah,
Yeah, but
and that's a compliment to the film, by the way.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's very
I
good.
mean, does have some very strange elements to it, which are very interesting visually. I
Mm,
enjoyed it. I thought it was
yeah.
really good.
Yeah, the set pieces and the practical. That's what I liked about the set pieces. They were very intricate, and I'm guessing that they have like interesting connections to the game. When you
Yeah,
play it. But yeah, it definitely reminded me of a FMV or a sort of a choose your own adventure style thing where you're picking it up and trying to figure it out.
yeah,
There's a famous one in the '90s called Broken Sword, and where you're a French detective, and you're sort of trying to work out a mystery, all to do with that. So it very much had those vibes.
yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it's a great film to watch. I'd like to know more about it, so I'm definitely going to see if I can find out more about the game and find out
Hmm.
what it's all about.
They did an interesting one where they did a sort of a sequel, but it was to do with the developers of the game,
All right.
and this was very interesting because it was like an intern or something to the company was said, oh yeah, you need to upload the game by 12 o'clock midnight or something. I don't remember the exact time, but he was given all different clues, and he was brought to the gaming office and had to work out all the different things. So it was a very loose sequel to the film there, but it was like the same sort of thing. You had to explore different things around the office and
Cool.
find different things. Yeah, so
Right.
that's on YouTube as well. I
All
recommend.
right. Cool. Cool. Okay. So the second of our short films is from 2024, and this is a film called Vice Grip. This is from Ninja Brothers. Writer and director is Dylan Vibart. And the cast is Lana Spring and Anna Vanston, Sam Schwerkeret, and Richard Follin. And the synopsis for this says a young influencer trains as a lucid dreamer to overcome an evil force in her nightmare. This is another film. I think it looks great right from the start. The color, the cinematography, everything looked really, really brilliant. And again, I think there were some excellent effects in this.
Mm.
Uh,
Definitely, I love the effects, and the noises, the music that went with the effects as well.
yeah,
Sometimes you can have great practical effects and bad music, but this really added into it. When you have the practical effects and you hear the noises, it's the same thing if we watched that film the other day. Was it 44?
yeah,
Yeah, that was the same thing. The music really added to
yeah,
the practical effects, and it made you feel like the demon or the entity was sort of like really gross and sort of really horrific, and it was the same sort of thing. It made my skin crawl a little. The music
yeah,
and the effects worked really well together.
yeah. And I agree. I mean, the idea of the story is it's a bit confusing, but very good. It's very well made and well acted. Um,
Yeah, I've seen something similar to that before, where an influencer's on their own in a house, and you're not sure if what's going on is real or
yeah.
paranormal, or she's being stalked and things like that. So that was a really interesting way. I think this was better than the one I've previously seen because it explains it a bit more in a way.
I
But
mean,
like you say, you're not sure if it's just sleep paralysis or a real thing.
I mean,
I like it.
For me, I think it's kind of looking at people's obsession with online validation and living your life through technology and that kind of thing, and it also taps into people's real fears of rejection, which they then transfer to being rejected online. It's and your insecurities and all that sort of thing. I really, it's another one I thought was really good, really well made, and really well done.
Yeah, an interesting message. I think horror films that have got a message are always the best ones. I mean, that was the whole reason behind, apparently, that's the whole reason behind the genre is, sort of like, be careful here, don't do this,
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
That's the whole sort of like, it's interesting because the scare tactics do work. But yeah, the best horror films are the ones with the sort of message behind them.
yeah, definitely. There's two good short films there.
Yeah, and it does make you think about how she was becoming a different person as she went on. And it was a nice, like obviously without any spoilers, it had a refreshing end,
Yeah.
to it as well. And I like the fact, like you say, the loneliness part was interesting because she was meeting up with these people, and but you weren't even sure if that was really happening, was you?
No.
So I like that aspect to it,
Yeah, it was very, very good. Very good. Okay. Right, the feature film this week is an anthology film called Exhibition of Evil. This is from this year, from 2026, by Trash Arts and Versus Media, and it's available to be watched on Versus Media. Trash Art have been putting a link to it on social media, so look out for that, and you can go and watch it yourselves. The writers are Jessica Hunt, India Kim, Phil Lydon, Sam Mason Bell, and Darren Ward. The directors are Jackson Batchelor, India Kim, Sam Mason Bell, S.N. Sibley, and Darren Ward. The cast is Robin Adams, Jackson Batchelor, Charlie Bentley, Simon Berry, Ross Allen Donny, Robbie Hampstead, Maria Cariachu, Steve Longhurst, Phil Lydon, Anis Marden, Tony Marden, Holly McLachlan, Caroline Oakes, Ashley Swain, and James E. Taylor. The synopsis says, within the shadowed halls of a private museum, a mysterious curator unveiled his most sinister collection. 6 cursed artifacts, each whispering its own tale of terror. I grew up watching anthology films like the Tales from the Crypt, Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, what was the other? Vault of Horror, and all of these ones from Amicus and all of those sort of things.
Yeah, and the Hammer and all that sort of stuff.
I grew up watching that sort of stuff, and I love these films.
That's
If they're done well, they are really good.
There was even just as a side note, there was even a Nightmare on Elm Street one with Freddy doing anthology stuff as well.
Yeah.
Tales of the Crypt Keeper will stay with us forever, I feel. But yeah, there's something about anthology films being punchy and having that little curator aspect to it. It just feels like, like you say, it feels like young adulthood, feels like you're watching something fresh. And we were talking about this the other day, but we sort of said, I think you were saying about how sci-fi is afraid to go back in the past.
Yeah.
Well, at least now, obviously, one of these, we'll get to it in a minute, but we had an old-fashioned, old-timey horror story, didn't we, involved with this? So, yes, I really enjoyed it. And anthologies are something special. And, like you say, if they're well done, you can take it along with you, and it's nice to have a separate story sometimes, as long as it's a complete story, which each of these are. So that
Yeah.
made me quite happy.
Yeah, I liked what was interesting the fact that the wraparound story is done in black and white, but all apart from one of the actual individual stories are all in color, which was quite
Yeah,
nice to see that. Um, so that was different.
it was. I do feel that obviously the effects were they did suit being in black and white for the Medusa's tail.
Yeah,
I think because they wanted it to look believable, I think the black and white did add to it. And
yes,
then, and obviously that was once again the music and the sound effects added to that, and obviously I feel if that was colour, it would have been laughable is probably not the right word, but less believable. I think the black and white
yeah,
aspect of that is fantastic because I'm not being funny. That would have cost a lot of money as an effect if it was in colour. So
yeah.
black and white was the way to go on that
No,
one.
I agree. I think they look really good. So there were six short films. The first one was called Don't Look. Um, I thought that the atmosphere in that was really good,
Mm,
and there was some really good camera work being done, the editing and things in it.
yes, I definitely got Purge vibes. Very
Yeah,
much.
and
Obviously they didn't really explain what he did, but sometimes that adds to the mystery, isn't it? What has he done to deserve this cruel treatment?
yeah, but I
So
like the effects on that. That when the kind of demon thing gets him, that was really good.
yeah, oh yeah.
And it's, I mean, it's the thing is that anything that starts off with people playing a game where you call on spirits or demons in the film world, it's going to go wrong
Yes,
because
always,
it always
always.
does. So the thing is, it's like as soon as you're somewhere and someone gets out a Ouija board, you either say I'm going home,
Yeah,
or you say put that away.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, that's always what I did have that experience once around a friend. So I was like, no thanks, bye.
Yeah, yeah.
You leave it to
I've seen
it.
far too many films to be wanting
Yeah,
to do this.
yeah, I've seen far too many films to get involved with that. I'm off.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh, so the second one was called Golden Boy. I was interested. I thought this was interesting because it is based on a story from Greek mythology,
Mm.
but then updated, which I thought was really
Oh,
cleverly
okay,
done.
that's cool. Ah,
Um, but I did like the fact that they had the point of view of like when he's kind of caught, captured, and tied to the chair, and you get
yeah,
the point of view from what he's seeing,
yes, exactly. Yeah.
which really cleverly done.
Yeah, the victim's POV was done very well. I liked
Yeah,
that.
it
It
was good. It was really.
and it did make me wince a few times, and yeah, yeah,
It
it's
was it.
very rare in a horror film these days. But I've found that a lot of the independent ones are making me like go, oh, this is actually quite,
Well, it's. I mean,
shocking.
it was some good effects in there, and there was a bit of blood in it, quite a bit of
Definitely,
blood
yeah,
in it.
that's it. Yeah,
So yeah, that was good. I thought that was great. The where are we? The third short film is the Medusa's tale.
yes,
As you say, was in black and white, which I think was excellent, and the effects, especially with the amulet,
mm,
and that were brilliant,
fantastic. Yeah, and
absolutely
and
brilliantly
the fact
done.
that you got the slight glimpse, I like the sort of ish jump scare of the Medusa's picture appearing in the amulet every now and again. And it
Yeah,
was a blink or you miss it thing, but it was a nice jump scare that you would see her face in the amulet. And obviously, as it went further in, you would get the quick blast of her face and the snakes moving and things like that. But that was done in a very old fashioned
it,
style way and reminded me of Jason and the Argonauts style,
yeah,
with
yeah,
claymation.
absolutely. No, it was really good. I really thought that was a really good short film. It was brilliant.
And I think that's what's missing in the industry now is everything is set in the future or nowadays, and it's nice to have something old fashioned where I think for me, one of my first horror films I watched wasn't really a horror film, but it was definitely the way into horror for me. Was Hound of the Baskervilles.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's how I've managed to sort of enjoy murder mysteries and Agatha Christie and horror, and it sort of was both for me. And I like that sort of genre where, because back in things in the past, you can even add more layers in.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's spookier things that were back in the day. Now everyone's obsessed with technology and things like that. Then there was more access to, occult books and things like that, and it was more well known. If anything, like spookier stuff from like World War Two and things like that with Dennis Wheatley, and that was more, involved.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. So where are we? The fourth short was called Salt.
Yeah,
That was a little bit odd. It was kind of funny in a way, but
yeah,
it was quite a good little short story.
that's right.
Um,
Yeah,
there wasn't a huge amount to it, but it was really well done. It was a good. The story carried it more than
yeah.
anything else.
It took me a while to get the hang of what was going on, but once, the script writing was fantastic, and the way that the actress delivered the lines, and the way the husband was sort of slowly clocking on to what was going on, I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
It,
that was
it
good.
gave me Make Me a Sandwich vibes. Have you ever
Yes,
seen that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely sort of thing like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what have we got next? The fifth one was called The Haunted Man.
Yes.
Now, I interviewed Tony Martin last week, and
That's
he was
right.
saying
Yeah,
about
it's
this.
a very
They
good one.
they made this during the Horror on Sea Film Festival, um, and I thought it was really good. It's some incredibly good acting in
All
there.
right.
His acting in this film I thought was brilliant. Just when he's supposed to be drunk and imagine and that sort of thing. And I just thought it was a really good film that was basically just him. There were a couple of other people in it, and
Mhm.
doing little roles and that, but it was basically just him,
Yes.
and that's quite a thing to take on.
Yeah, it was a very dramatic role, wasn't it? How, obviously, without revolving on too many spoilers, because I think it's important everyone does watch this, but,
Absolutely,
the film within a film aspect is always interesting for me. I
yeah,
love the aspect of a film being filmed while you're watching it and in the films. I think it's an interesting thing that adds on, like, where I suppose it's where I like the found footage stuff. It sort of adds into that aspect of it where, and of course they had a local, South End was used, and it was
yeah.
used quite nicely as well. And I, I didn't quite catch where the thing was, but that definitely gave me, like, I think I've been in that hotel myself, so I did. It was quite nice to see how that was going, and like all the actors and everywhere. Like you say, it was mainly him, but it didn't feel like that at the same time.
No, that's right.
Mm,
It was really good. I really enjoyed. I really thought it was a really well made film.
yeah,
Um, and
and
considering
sometimes
they only made it in the sort of like a day or so.
really,
I
yeah. See,
mean, that's quite.
that's a lot for a day,
Yeah,
and I like the sometimes. I mean, obviously, I like the fact that they fill a lot of gaps in with films, but it was nice that the death was ambiguous and you weren't sure what was going on, and then obviously the big reveals.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I really liked it. I thought it was really good. So yeah, the last one is called the sixth one is called Passion. And all I will say to you is what I've written down here, which is it's always good to end on a good old slasher.
Yes, definitely. I mean, this gave me Italian slasher vibes from the get go. I was like, wow, okay, we're getting the blood red sort of like picture angles, we're getting the blood red filters, we're getting the ominous man with the balaclava and the hat
Yeah,
and all that sort of thing. And it really did give me late 90s, 80s Italian horror vibes. I'm not sure if that was what they were going for,
I
but the
don't know.
music was very synonymous with the original Suspiria. and it had that sort of twinkly vibe to it. And obviously, it was nice that we got a resolution to why they were doing it in the end, sort of. But because I was always worried about that. I was like, we're just going to have a few killings and we're not going to get a reason why or anything. So they did sort of give us a little breadcrumb of a reason. But yes, I thought the kills were great.
Absolutely.
The atmosphere was great. And once again, the sound and the effects were fantastic. I'm guessing that was on a limited budget as well.
Oh yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, I mean, I think these were all done on a low budget thing. But the effects were great. It was very violent, but it was violent in a sort of like entertaining way, if that makes sense.
Yes. But obviously, the best slashers are the ones where the kills are variated and things like that.
Absolutely. And it's, you can't beat a good bit of revenge slasher in a
No,
film.
yeah. But
It's
it was
good.
almost like, who do you vote? Who do you go for?
But I mean, overall, I thought it was a really good collection of short films.
Yes.
There weren't too many, but it just felt like it was just right, just enough for you to kind of like come away feeling that you've watched some really good stuff,
Yeah. Yeah, and that was the good thing about it. Like you say, the one at the very beginning with the Ouija board, and that you knew what you were getting into with the effects on that one, where all the blood was pouring down his face and all that sort of stuff. You knew what you were getting in through the get go. It didn't let up really. I think the calmest one was the Medusa one. Everything else was very much boom, which is great.
Very good, very good. And even the overarching story. Sometimes I find the overarching story, the surrounding story, sometimes can feel like it's a bit too contrived.
Mm.
But this didn't.
No.
It kind of reminded me when I was younger. I used to watch Rod Serling. He did after doing the Twilight Zone. He did a short series of things that was more horror based, which was called Night Gallery.
Oh, okay.
Where he would walk through a gallery and talk about the paintings, and each painting had its story, which became the story for the episode. Sometimes there were two in one episode, sometimes it was just one. But it was kind of like that. It reminded me of that, sort of like him going around and just saying, "This painting here shows blah, blah, blah," and he then it goes into the story for so that was another thing. As I say, not only did the anthology thing come across me when I was younger, but I used to love watching Night Gallery, and it's almost impossible to get hold of now. I don't know why. I can find Twilight Zone episodes all over YouTube. I can find the Outer Limits everywhere, but I can't find Night Gallery anywhere.
I'm going to have a look for this, because I don't know if I remember it.
It was really good. There were some really good stories on Night Gallery. I really enjoyed it. Okay, well there you go. That's our 3 films. I will be I'm going to be interviewing some other people who were involved in this.
Wow, that's great.
I've interviewed Sam Mason Bell a couple of times, and he's been on the show helping to present it last season. As I say, I've had Tony Marden on the film. I'm going to have a couple of other people who are connected to this on the show at different times. So keep an eye out for that.
Well, I look forward to it, but yeah. I think these interviews that you're being able to get are really good. So people need to make sure if they haven't seen some of the interview specials that you've been doing, you need to check them out, guys, because they're really entertaining.
It's good. They're good fun to do, and it's good to talk to people like that all the time. So there you go. There, a short film's Paradox, a Rusty Lake film. I would suggest everybody out there tries to find out a bit more about Cube Escape Paradox, the game, and see if you can work out what's going on. Then Vice Grip, which we again liked and we thought was very good, and Exhibition of Evil, a great independent anthology film, really worth a watch. As I say, it's on Versus Media, and check out Trash Arts. If you could have a look on Trash Arts on YouTube and on Facebook, then they will have links to it all on there. I will say, we have a on the Thrave Productions YouTube channel, every season of this show, there is a playlist of the films that we've reviewed, or as many of them as we can put up, and trailers for the ones that we can't put up. A few may have been removed since we did the reviews of them, but most of them are up there anyway. And that is true of all of the seasons, including this one. So all of the films that we have reviewed so far are available for you to have a look at on the Thrave Productions YouTube channel. Just look, they're each under Sciforror Film Podcast. And it has season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 films, and then you can go and have a look at and watch as many of them as you want.
Indeed, yeah, and please do tell them we sent you as well.
Yes, absolutely. Right, thank you, Badger. It's been great.
Thank you. Always a pleasure, sir. Always
a pleasure. On this weekend, there will be an interview with actor Neil James, who had a small role in the R.I.P. Man, and he's reprising his character as a police officer in the R.I.P. Man 2, and he's also been in lots of other short and feature film horror films and things. So there'll be an interview with him up on Sunday.
That's it.
Check that out.
Not that they've asked me to do this, but I do recommend you checking out the R.I.P. Man 2 Kickstarter.
Yes.
If you've got a few bob knocking around, you can donate to the Kickstarter and appear in the film in some sort of different ways if you've got enough pennies.
Definitely.
But obviously you can support the film even for the smallest amount. And it's important to support British horror and things like that if you can. So the Kickstarter's live. They haven't asked me to say that or anything like that. It's just I saw it on the Facebook and I thought it'd be a nice thing to add in, that if we can support British cinema, we should.
Definitely, absolutely. And there's a few films that we have reviewed in the past that are now up on different streaming platforms. Some of them are on Amazon, some of them are on other platforms that I don't know what they are, but there are some of them out there on streaming platforms. So have a look for independent horror and sci-fi films out there, because there are ones out there that are worth watching. So give it a look. Next time we'll be back with science fiction, and be doing I think we're going to do a slice of slightly older science fiction.
Oh.
I think it's sort of sci-fi comedy. I think, kind of.
Was it meant to be?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not absolutely sure. To be honest with you, I'm not absolutely sure if they were sure. But anyway. Yeah, so we'll be back with some of that anyway. Until then, thank you very much to everyone for watching and listening and keeping up with us. Please like, subscribe and share as much as you possibly can our show and our posts and things like that. I have no idea what I'm talking about now. I've gone completely off-piste. I don't know.
Like, share, subscribe, support the show, tell everyone.
I know what I'm talking about half the time. There you go. And we will see you again soon.
And don't forget to add on that it's on all the different platforms. It's not just YouTube, is it?
Yes, no, it's on YouTube, but it is also on Spotify and Podbean, I think it is, and Apple, and can't remember. Lots of other ones.
Indeed. So support us where you can. It's much appreciated. I thought that was where you were going.
I get lost sometimes in my own thoughts, and I kind of it's sort of like trying to find my way out of them is a difficult thing sometimes.
Indeed. Thank you very much, everyone. You're awesome.
Thank you. Bye.
See you later. Bye.
The Sciforror Film Podcast.